Good evening and welcome to Sabha TV. I'm Tina Shah with News Tonight. Before we go over to the headlines, Sabha TV appeals to all its viewers to stay safe from the COVID-19 pandemic. Wear face masks, wash hands and face regularly, and maintain physical distancing while stepping outside. Remember, these simple precautions are all that it takes to defeat the pandemic. And now, let's get to the top stories. No changes will be made to the system of MSP, asserts government after talks with farmers. Union Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar assures that farmers' interests will be protected at all costs. Next round of talks on Saturday. Kerala and Tamil Nadu on high alert for Cyclone Burevi. Union Home Minister Amit Shah speaks to Chief Ministers of both states on relief and disaster management. New COVID-19 infections in India fall by 3% since Wednesday. Recovery rate now 94.1%. On the eve of Navy Day, Naval Chief asserts Indian Navy well equipped to face security challenges arising from COVID-19 pandemic and China's attempts to change status quo on the northern borders. And Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu releases book on former President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, exhorts you to come up with new solutions to economic and social challenges. And beginning with the biggest story of the day, the fourth round of talks between the government and the farmers ended in a cordial atmosphere in Delhi on Thursday. Around 40 representatives of 32 farmer unions attended the meeting with Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar and Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal. The Agriculture Minister allayed apprehensions of the farmers on the 3 farm reform laws. Listen in.
किसान यूनियन और किसानों की चिंता है कि जो नया एक्ट आया है उससे एपीएमसी वो ख़त्म हो जाएगी। भारत सरकार इस बात पर विचार करेगी कि एपीएमसी सशक्त हो और एपीएमसी का उपयोग और बढ़े। जहां तक नए एक्ट का सवाल है उसमें एपीएमसी परिधि के बाहर प्राइवेट मंडियों का प्रावधान है, तो प्राइवेट मंडियां आएंगी, लेकिन प्राइवेट मंडी और जो एपीएमसी एक्ट के अंतर्गत बनी हुई मंडियां हैं उन दोनों में कर की समानता हो, और ये इस पर भी हम लोग विचार करेंगे। और साथ ही यह भी बात आई कि जब मंडी परिधि के बाहर ट्रेड होगा तो वो सिर्फ पैन कार्ड से ही होगा, तो पैन कार्ड तो आजकल किसी को भी मिल जाता है, तो ट्रेडर का रजिस्ट्रेशन होना चाहिए। तो ट्रेडर का रजिस्ट्रेशन हो, यह भी हम लोग निश्चित रूप से सुनिश्चित करेंगे। नए एक्ट में यह प्रावधान था कि अगर कोई विवाद होता है तो वो एसडीएम कोर्ट में जाएगा। यूनियन की चिंता है कि एसडीएम कोर्ट छोटा कोर्ट है और न्यायालय में उन्हें जाने की अनुमति होनी चाहिए। इस बात पर यूनियंस का काफ़ी बल था और इसलिए हम लोगों ने उस विषय को भी अलग से निकाला कि सरकार उस पर विचार करे कि एसडीएम कोर्ट रहे, न्यायालय रहे। इस दिशा में भी निश्चित रूप से हम लोग विचार करने के लिए पूरी तरह ओपन हैं। और साथ ही उन लोगों ने फराली के विषय में भी एक ऑर्डिनेंस है उस पर भी उनकी शंका है, विद्युत एक्ट है उस पर भी उनकी शंका है। इस दिशा में भी बातचीत की थी, तो इसमें भी सरकार पूरी तरह विचार करने के लिए ओपन है। और एक बात और चलाई जा रही है कि नए कानून के वजह से छोटे किसान की जो जमीन है उसको बड़े लोग हथिया लेंगे। वैसे तो एक्ट के जो प्रावधान हैं उसमें किसान को पूरी तरह सुरक्षा प्रदान की गई है। कहीं से लेकर कहीं तक कोई भी किसान की जमीन की लिखा पढ़ी नहीं कर सकता है, इस बात का प्रावधान एक्ट में ही है। लेकिन फिर भी लोगों की शंका है, तो शंका का निवारण करने के लिए सरकार तैयार है। एमएसपी के मामले में लोग शंका की दृष्टि से देखते हैं, लेकिन मैं फिर यह कहना चाहता हूं कि एमएसपी चल रही थी, एमएसपी चल रही है, आने वाले कल में भी चलती रहेगी। इसकी आश्वस्ति भी हम किसान भाइयों को दिलाएंगे।
So the Agriculture Minister reiterated that the minimum support price will not be touched. He appealed to the farmers to suspend their protests. The next round of talks will take place on Saturday.
लेकिन मैं आपके माध्यम से किसान नेताओं से भी, किसानों से भी अनुरोध करना चाहता हूं कि सर्दी का सीजन है, सरकार बातचीत कर ही रही है और लगातार सरकार वार्ता में है, तो निश्चित रूप से वार्ता में जो मुद्दे आएंगे वो समाधान तक पहुंचेंगे। इसलिए आंदोलन समाप्त करें तो उनके लिए भी अच्छा है, और आंदोलन के कारण दिल्ली के निवासियों को भी जो तकलीफ हो रही है उससे दिल्ली के नागरिकों को निजात मिलेगी।
The Chief Minister of Punjab, Amrinder Singh, met Union Home Minister Amit Shah over the issue of the farmers' protests. He appealed to the Home Minister and the protesting farmers to find an early resolution to the impasse over the new farm laws. He said if the agitation continues, it will affect Punjab's economy as well as the nation's security. After the meeting, Amit Shah at his residence in the national capital, in fact, Amrinder Singh, after meeting the Home Minister, said a common ground must be found soon and the two sides should not take rigid positions on the matter. Listen in.
I only came to see the Home Minister to reiterate our position and to also make a request to him and to our farmers, which I make to you, that we must resolve this issue soon, because this affects the economy of my state and also the security of the nation.
The farmers' protest has put the focus back on the issue of minimum support price or MSP for any crop. Now, these prices are set by the government. Addressing apprehensions on the issue, the government has categorically said that there is no question of doing away with it. Our next report looks at the issue of MSP and how it has gone up in the last few years.
MSP or minimum support price is intended to give guaranteed prices and an assured market to farmers. It is aimed at protecting farmers from the unwarranted price fluctuations caused by supply variations due to any number of reasons. Guaranteed prices are expected to lead to higher investment and adoption of modern technologies in agriculture. Globalization has made it more important to protect farmers from unwarranted fluctuation in international prices. The Commission for Agricultural Costs and Prices, or CACP, formed in 1965, recommends MSPs to incentivize farmers to adopt modern technology, raise productivity, and overall grain production. As of now, CACP recommends MSPs of 22 commodities. They include 14 crops of Kharif season, 6 of Rabi season, and 2 commercial crops. Of these cereals include paddy, wheat, maize, sorghum, pearl, millet, barley, and ragi. Pulses are gram, tur, moong, urad, and masoor. Oil seeds, groundnut, rapeseed, mustard, soyabean, sunflower, safflower, and nigger seed. And commercial crops like copra, sugarcane, and cotton, and raw jute. Under the Narendra Modi government, MSP for crops has increased. In 2018, the government increased the MSP to 1.5 times the production cost, which is the chief determinant of MSP in line with the 2006 recommendation of the National Commission of Farmers. The MSP payment to the farmers for paddy has been increased by 2.4 times in the last 5 years compared to 2009 and 10 to 2013 and 14 when the UPA was in power. Payment to farmers for wheat increased 1.77 times in comparison to the period from 2009-10 to 2013 and 14. In September, Prime Minister Modi said higher MSP will empower farmers and contribute to doubling their income. He also said it was the government's great privilege to work for the welfare of farmers. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
In some other news, repolling was held in all polling stations of Old Malakpet division of Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Thursday. Repolling was carried out after it was noticed that the ballot papers for the ward had an incorrectly printed symbol of CPI candidate Firdaus Fatima. The symbol was printed as hammer, sickle and star instead of ears of corn and sickle. Polling for the Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation was held on the 1st of December and counting of votes for all 150 divisions will take place on the 4th of December. Actor Rajinikanths will float his political party next month. In a Twitter message, the actor said the announcement regarding it will be made on the 31st of December. He expressed confidence that his party will win the forthcoming assembly elections in Tamil Nadu and will give an honest, corruption-free and spiritual politics without discrimination against any religion or caste. Rajinikanth's announcement comes ahead of the state assembly elections in Tamil Nadu next year. In 2017, Rajinikanths had announced that he will start a political party and contest in the 2021 assembly elections. Moving on, the government is monitoring all developments related to China's building of a dam over the Brahmaputra river. External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Anurag Srivastava said on Thursday that India has urged Chinese authorities to ensure that interests of downstream states are not harmed by any activities in the upstream areas. India has also conveyed its concerns to China. The neighboring country has assured that the dam is being constructed on the run of the river and will not impact water coming to India or any other country.
We have consistently conveyed our views and concerns to the Chinese authorities. We have urged them to ensure that the interests of downstream states are not harmed by any activities in upstream areas. The Chinese side has conveyed to us on several occasions that they are only undertaking run-of-the-river hydropower projects which do not involve diversion of the waters of the Brahmaputra. Various issues relating to transborder rivers are discussed with China under the ambit of the institutionalized expert-level mechanism which was established in 2006, as well as through diplomatic channels. We intend to remain engaged with China on the issue of transborder rivers to safeguard our interests.
Chief of the Indian Navy, Admiral Karambir Singh, said on Thursday that the Indian Navy is fully prepared to tackle the dual challenge of tensions with China on the LAC and also the COVID-19 pandemic. Addressing a press conference on the eve of Navy Day, Admiral Singh said the Indian Navy's surveillance aircraft, P-8I and Heron drones are deployed in eastern Ladakh. He also said the Navy is working in close coordination with the Army and the Indian Air Force to tackle the Chinese challenge. He said the Navy has a standard operating procedure in case there is any infringement in the Indian Ocean region. India and China are currently locked in a border row in eastern Ladakh for nearly 7 months.
So this dual challenge scenario continues as we speak, and the country collectively continues to battle the pandemic and tackle security challenges. So in these testing times, the Indian Navy aims to stand steadfast as a combat-ready, credible and cohesive force, furthering our national and maritime interests.
Admiral Singh added that the Indian Navy is determined to stand steadfast in these testing times. Talking about the proposed Maritime Theatre Command, he said work is in progress. He also asserted that India's defence sector is moving towards becoming self-reliant.
India's commitment to self-reliance in defence production is evident from the fact that all 24 ships and submarines commissioned in the Navy over the last 6 years have been built in India. Further, of the 43 ships and submarines currently under construction, 41 are being built at Indian shipyards. These include the aircraft carrier Vikrant, the P-15 class destroyer, the P-17 class frigates, and the Scorpion class submarines. Amongst these projects, Vikrant is at an advanced stage of construction. We just finished the basin trials and will commence sea trials in early 2021.
The centre on Thursday announced India's top 10 best performing police stations from across the country for the year 2020. Manipur's Nongpok Sekmai police station has been chosen as the best performing police station in the country. AWPS Suramangalam police station in Tamil Nadu's Salem district and Kharsang in Arunachal Pradesh's Changlang district have been selected as the second and third best performing police stations. This was done in accordance with the directions of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, issued during the Director Generals of Police Conference in the year 2015 in Kutch, Gujarat. 2020's survey for the best police station was done by the Home Ministry under challenging circumstances due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. The government selects the best performing police stations across the country every year to incentivize more effective functioning and also bring about healthy competition. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu called upon youngsters to draw inspiration from former President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam and work towards building a strong, self-reliant and inclusive India. The Vice President said that like Dr. Kalam, the youth should think out of the box and use technology for providing solutions to the various economic and societal challenges that impact large sections of India's population. Speaking at the virtual release of the book, 40 Years with Abdul Kalam, Untold Stories, authored by Dr. Shivathanu Pillai, the Vice President expressed his happiness that the book provided a gripping first-hand account of Dr. Kalam's life.
The life of Dr. Kalam sends a powerful message about how difficulties and setbacks, when taken in the right spirit, serve as the key ingredients in making us robust in character and mindset. Today's generation should draw inspiration from him and dedicatedly work towards building a strong, self-reliant and inclusive India. The scientists should really focus more and more on this aspect. This was the dream of Dr. Kalam, and he dedicated his entire life to make India self-reliant in defense and space technologies.
Describing Dr. Kalam as a true karma yogi, the Vice President said he was an inspiration to every Indian. He said Dr. Kalam's biggest passion was to motivate and inspire school and college students to work with a passion for nation-building activities.
Dr. Kalam was a true karma yogi and an inspiration to every Indian. He was truly a people's president who endeared himself to every Indian, particularly the youth. He was an epitome of simplicity, honesty, and wisdom. His contribution to strengthening India's defense and space capabilities is invaluable.
Let's now take a look at the COVID-19 situation in the country. India reported 35,551 new cases of coronavirus on Thursday. 526 deaths were recorded in the last 24 hours. India also registered 40,726 new recoveries during the same period. Active caseload continues to decline. There are 4,22,000 active cases in the country at present, comprising 4.44% of the total caseload. The total recovered cases stand at 89,73,000, while the total cases currently stand at 95,34,000. This includes 1,38,648 deaths. Total tests in the country have crossed 14.35 crore. 11,11,000 tests were conducted in the last 24 hours. Kerala reported 6,316 cases in the last 24 hours, while Delhi recorded 3,944 new cases. Maharashtra registered 3,350 new cases. Maharashtra reported 111 deaths. Delhi also saw a fatality count of 82, while West Bengal reported 51 new deaths due to coronavirus. Global pharma major Pfizer said on Thursday that it is committed to engaging with the Indian government to make COVID vaccine available in the country. The statement comes a day after the UK became the first country to approve the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, with UK's regulator MHRA granting a temporary authorization for its emergency use. A Pfizer spokesperson said that the company is committed to ensuring that everyone has the opportunity to get access to the vaccine and is working closely with the governments. The company said that Pfizer will supply this vaccine only through government contracts and following regulatory authorization or approval. Meanwhile, AIIMS Director Dr. Randeep Guleria has pinned his hopes on the 5 COVID-19 vaccine candidates, which are in advanced stages of clinical trial in India, stating they are logistically feasible for distribution in both urban and rural areas. Pune-based Serum Institute of India has said that it will apply for emergency use licensure for AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine in about 2 weeks. Phase 3 clinical trial of the indigenously developed vaccine candidate of Bharat Biotech and the Indian Council of Medical Research is also underway. Vaccine candidate of Zydus Cadila has completed the Phase 2 clinical trial, while Dr. Reddy's Laboratories has started the combined Phase 2 and 3 clinical trials of the Russian COVID-19 vaccine Sputnik V in India. Heavy rains lashed Tamil Nadu, Puducherry as cyclonic storm Burevi nears the Indian coast. Southern Tamil Nadu and Kerala remain on red alert. Home Minister Amit Shah reaffirmed the centre's commitment to provide all possible help to the people of Tamil Nadu and Kerala in the wake of cyclone Burevi's impending landfall along the southern coast. This was conveyed to the Chief Ministers of Tamil Nadu and Kerala respectively during a telephonic conversation with each one of them. According to the IMD, cyclone Burevi is likely to hit Tamil Nadu and Kerala coast on Friday morning. Around 26 NDRF teams have been deployed in Tamil Nadu and Kerala, while one team is on reserve at Puducherry. Emergency relief operations have been launched in the coastal districts of both states. The fire and rescue team has also been engaged in cutting and removing trees and branches which pose danger to the public in case of heavy rains and wind. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister E.K. Palaniswamy urged the people in the southern districts to stay indoors. Kerala's Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan also called for a high-level meeting of the State Disaster Management Authority and other departments.
साउथ वेस्ट में बन रहा है बुरेवी साइक्लोन, तो उसी की वजह से ज़्यादा चांस है कि तमिलनाडु और इसके अलावा जो सदर्न केरला है, दक्षिणी भाग जो केरला का है, वो प्रभावित हो सकता है। उसको ध्यान में रखते हुए एर्नाकुलम, इडुक्की, इसके अलावा कोल्लम, कोटायम, इसके अलावा त्रिवेंद्रम, ये सब डिस्ट्रिक्ट में हमारा जो डिप्लॉयमेंट हुआ है एनडीआरएफ का। इसके अलावा हम लोग सारी टीम अभी अपने एरिया में जाकर के देखी कर रही है और ऑब्जर्व कर रही है सिचुएशन को, और ग्राउंड लेवल पर क्या चल रहा है उसको हम लोग देख रहे हैं, और कुछ इसके अलावा डिजास्टर्स होता है तो उसके लिए हम लोग इमीडिएट रिस्पांस करने के लिए तैयार हैं।
Cyclone preparedness, we have deployed only 1,300 police personnel on the ground, out of which 200 are specialist personnel, 120 are SDRF trained, our own district police, while 80 special TNDRF force have come from the Chennai headquarters to help us in the cyclone relief and any rescue operations in future also.
India has called out selectivity at the United Nations in condemning acts of violence against religions. In particular, it has pointed out how the UN General Assembly has failed to acknowledge the rising hatred and violence against Buddhism, Hinduism and Sikhism, while asserting that the culture of peace cannot be for Abrahamic religions alone. India has told the United Nations not to limit its condemnation of hatred against only three religions, Judaism, Christianity and Islam, but extend it to Hinduism, Sikhism and Buddhism as well. India's first secretary to the UN, Ashish Sharma, said,
"We appreciate the efforts of Bangladesh in presenting a resolution today on the follow-up of the declaration and program of action contained in document L28, which India is happy to co-sponsor. However, we find disconcerting trends in the world of today. At the outset, let me state that we fully agree that anti-Semitism, Islamophobia and anti-Christian acts need to be condemned, and India firmly condemns such acts. However, UN resolutions on such important issues speak only of these three Abrahamic religions together."
On Wednesday, India co-sponsored a resolution presented by Bangladesh titled Follow Up to the Declaration and Program of Action on a Culture of Peace. While doing so, it called out the selectivity at the United Nations in condemning acts of violence against all religions.
This august body fails to acknowledge the rise of hatred and violence against Buddhism, Hinduism and Sikhism also. The shattering of the iconic Bamiyan Buddha by fundamentalists, the terrorist bombing of the Sikh Gurdwaras in Afghanistan where 25 Sikh worshippers were killed, and the destruction of Hindu and Buddhist temples and minority cleansing of these religions by countries calls for condemning such acts against these religions also. But the current member states refuse to speak of these religions in the same breath as the first three Abrahamic religions. Why is this selectivity?
India also highlighted the fact that while Pakistan has been vocal on the issue of Islamophobia, it has violated earlier resolution on culture of peace passed last year by the United Nations General Assembly. In this regard, India has cited how it has arbitrarily transferred the management of Kartarpur Sahib Gurdwara, the Sikh holy shrine, from a Sikh community body to the administrative control of a non-Sikh body. With inputs from Akhilesh Suman, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. President Ramnath Kovind on Thursday paid homage to Dr. Rajendra Prasad, the first President of India, on his birth anniversary. The President and officials of the Rashtrapati Bhavan paid floral tributes before a portrait of Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu also paid tributes to Dr. Rajendra Prasad on his birth anniversary. The Vice President said Dr. Rajendra Prasad was a selfless leader who played a key role in shaping the polity of the country. Paying tributes to Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said his simple living and high ideals will forever inspire people. The Prime Minister noted Prasad's unparalleled contribution to the freedom struggle and also in the making of the Indian Constitution. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla, Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi, and Leader of Opposition in Rajya Sabha Ghulam Nabi Azad and others also paid floral tributes at the portrait of Dr. Rajendra Prasad in the Central Hall of Parliament. Born in 1884 in Bihar, Dr. Rajendra Prasad was a close associate of Mahatma Gandhi and became the first President of India after its independence. He was the President from 1950 to 1962. He also has the distinction of being the only Indian President to have served more than one term. He was a brilliant scholar, a great teacher, lawyer, and a freedom fighter. Dr. Rajendra Prasad had played a big role in making of the Indian Constitution. He was awarded the highest civilian award, the Bharat Ratna, in 1962. He passed away on 28th of February 1963 at the age of 78. And before we leave, we once again appeal to all our viewers to stay safe from the COVID-19 pandemic. Wear face masks, wash hands and face regularly, and maintain physical distancing while stepping outside. Remember, these simple precautions are all that it takes to defeat the pandemic. Good night and thank you very much for your time.